How's it going? Welcome to episode 16 of Weird Mind Newsroom. And of course, you already know the instance. I'm your host, and today I'm going to go through what came out this week in terms of the new releases. Got a few trailers, as well as a lot of news, in particular, a lot of video game rumors in our news section this week. So, let's not waste too much time, and let's just get right to the discussion.
Boy, show me some sins. You're one big sinning machine.
Now, for this week's big release in the films, we will make you want to pray for salvation, as we have the sequel to the 2018 horror film and the newest entry in the Conjuring universe, The Nun 2. Now, this follow-up will bring us back to the main character of Sister Irene, and this takes place in 1956 France, where she's called back in to investigate a series of deaths happening across Europe, and soon finds herself in a new novitiate named Sophie come across the man she knew as Frenchie, in a girls' boarding school that seems to be the target of the powerful demon of Valak. Now, reception for the first movie was not that strongly received, and for this one, while it's also got some more mixed but poor reception, it is slightly better as of recording this. So, it has been seen as a slightly better film, of course, the first movie, but, it's not saying much when a lot of the horror movies kind of are a bit hit or miss to a lot of people these days, but there's some good ones in there. But anyway, if you want to confess your sins and sing some spooky hymns, then you can check out the movie as it's in cinemas now. And as for the show of this week, while it is also brief, we have a second season of collection of shorts of the Marvel Studios TV series of I Am Groot. Now, this will consist of 5 shorts that will focus on Baby Groot. It's set between Guardians 2 and 3 and Infinity War, as he gets up to some sort of mischief from, caring for a small alien creature, he's having fun on a snow day, to even finding coins and buy something from an intergalactic ice cream truck, and even an appearance of someone that may watch but can't intervene. Now, the initial set of shorts were simple and wholesome, and I have seen the new season is also well received, so I'm sure they're just be nice and wholesome and quick enough. They're well liked. I like them. I watched them there recently. They're pretty good. But you can check them out now, as they're all available on Disney+. And on the video game side of things for this week, we are heading over to the gaming juggernaut company of Bethesda, as we have blasted off with our first new IP from the company in 25 years. And this is with Starfield. Now, this game takes place in the distant year of 2310, in a place known as the Settled Systems, and follows your character set 20 years after the events of the game of a war known as the Colony War between the United Colonies and the Freestar Collective. And you are part of a group of space explorers that may help bring more proper peace to the galaxy when there's some uneasiness to both sides. Now, reception has been well praised from a lot of critics, and with only most divided being with its plot. It is a bit more mixed, particularly with audiences in some capacity. Particularly, a lot of the complaints are coming from PlayStation fanboys because a few reasons. 1, it's not on PlayStation. 2, it's an Xbox exclusive, but also on PC. And 3, they're saying that, it's broken or some shit like that. But can we have any point where a game that comes out is not complained about? Because that just seems unlikely at this rate. Maybe Zelda, but although that one also got some complaints. But anyway, if you want to play it yourself and want to blast off some new space exploration, then you can check out the Cosmos now on Xbox Series X and S, and on PC. But anyway, that's all the new releases that have come out this week.
I don't want to be a pie. I don't like gravy.
So we'll start off the trailers this week with the first of 2 trailers that involve giant titan kaijus. And with our first one, we have the official trailer for the newest Toho film of the famous lizard of Godzilla, with Godzilla Minus One. Now, this film is set in a post-war Japan, and we'll see Godzilla cause destruction on a reckless rampage and plunge the land into a negative state after, I believe it's the Second World War, I think. That's really what I say. Now, the last Godzilla I remember from Toho was Shin Godzilla in 2016, and that one was actually pretty cool. As well as, of course, being a fan of the Monsterverse movies, which we will talk about later in this trailer section. But we don't have to wait too long for this, as you can check it out when I believe it releases over here in cinemas on December 1st. Now for a sequel, 23 years in the making, as we have gotten the first feature a full official trailer for the long-awaited sequel to Chicken Run, with Chicken Run 2, Dawn of the Nugget. Now this new film will follow the flock after they have escaped from the Tweedies farm, and have found peace in a sanctuary off the mainland. And with Ginger and Rocky welcoming a new baby chick named Molly, it seems like a happy ending seems to have found itself. But they soon discover when a new danger emerges from an old foe that threatens all of chicken kind. They may have to destroy their peace, and instead of them breaking out last time, they're breaking in this time. Now, I always have a soft spot for art and animation, which I'm going to do a video on eventually over Rewatchathon, and I'm very excited for this movie. When they announced this about 3 or 4 years ago, I was very excited. Now, most complaints I've seen, or concern I've seen online, is mainly with some recastings. Now, mostly it's with Ginger and Rocky, I believe. And I think Nick and Fletcher both are, but I think Nick and Fletcher is fine, as well as Rocky's. It's just the casting of Ginger. Now, people are annoyed that Julia Swahala isn't voicing the character again, and instead is now be played by Fadawi Newton. Reason being is that there's a clip going around of showing her doing the lines of the original film and sounding a lot like her. I think this was probably about maybe 2 years ago. So I don't know why they didn't get her back for this when they got a lot of the other cast back. So I don't know. But anyway, I'm not going to complain about it. I'm sure it'll be a cracking good time when this new film releases just in time for Christmas on Netflix on December 15th. Probably at the release date in cinemas, but I'll have to see what happens. For our next one, with the 4th season of The Boys still a good ways out, we do have some good news for you, as we have a new trailer for Gen V, the spin-off to The Boys that will focus on young adult soups being interested in a Battle Royale style challenges at the Gundulkan University School of Crime Fighting that is of course funded by Voight International. Now, it does look pretty cool. The series has been popular, and this is of course based on one particular arc from the comic lines itself, so there is some merit to it. But if you don't have to wait too long to enroll, as school is in session from September 29th, so about 2 weeks time. Now for a trailer for a show I did talk about in a long form video about video game adaptations, which you can check on the link down below if you haven't watched it already, or if you want to watch it again. I appreciate all support. We have received an all new trailer for the upcoming series of Castlevania Nocturne. Now, this is loosely based on the games of Rondo and Blood and the acclaimed Symphony of the Night, and we'll see Richter Belmont and a group of supernatural individuals joining forces to stop Dracula and his army of vampires, the undead, from causing an apocalypse during the French Revolution in 1792. Now, the original Castlevania anime was so good, and this looks like it seems to be in good hands, and given it's taking inspiration from games, including of course Symphony of the Night, then I am all for more vampire hunting when the series also rises from the dead on September 29th of this year, so it's also 2 weeks time. As of course I did mention, there was a second trailer focusing on kaijus this week, because on Friday Apple TV dropped the official trailer for their new series of the Monsterverse with Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. Now, this series, of course, will focus on the events after 2014's Godzilla, and we'll see two young siblings learning about the past of their father, and leads them to down a rabbit hole of the company of Monarch, and to the research of one army officer, Lee Shaw, and delves over the last 50 to 60 years since the 1950s about the emergence of titans that are among civilization, and how they may affect the future of humanity. Now, I do love the Monsterverse movies. I might do a retrospect on them. And seeing this is being expanded to a full budget series and kind of focusing on all the other monsters as well, besides, of course, our big boy Godzilla and Kong, it does look pretty cool. And the Titans will rise when the series officially premieres in November, on November 17th. And with that, of course, that is the end of all the trailers for this week.
One more score, Arthur. Come on, Dutch.
So as mentioned at the beginning of this video, there is a lot of news stories about the video game rumors. So we're going to start with the big company of Rockstar Games. Now, we know Rockstar has been hit with a lot of complaints recently, as they seem to milk GTA Online, not care for Red Dead Online, and release some terrible or lazy ports in the form of the GTA trilogy or the Red Dead Redemption ports. But this news might help lighten the hate. Now, according to some sources, there is a rumbling going around that the official unveiling for Grand Theft Auto 6 may be announced near the end of next month on the 24th of October. Now, this is of course speculation, but until they announce it, I feel like maybe it could be a point they do it, because the only time we've seen anything about GTA 6 lately was of course the big massive data breach from a year ago that saw clips and footage of a work in progress of the game, and where we learned about that we're going to have a male and female protagonist and might be returning to Vice City. So we'll have to see how that returns out, but you know, that's of course speculation, so take it with a grain of salt. As for the other one, we? We're going to the Wild West, as we're going to the series of Red Dead. Now, as mentioned, there was a port released of the first game on PS4 and Switch, and Red Dead Online has been basically neglected by Rockstar because everyone comments in the comments, they milk the fuck out of GTA Online. However, there has been some rumblings that we are officially going to get a third Red Dead Redemption game. We haven't got information yet. We got some info from the Take-Two Interactive head that a third Red Dead Redemption will come and is a planned thing in the future. However, it'll probably be a good while before we see that happen. Now, whether it's going to be a prequel to 2, as the first one was also a prequel to 1, isn't a guess. It could be about a young Dutch, or it could be, set after the second game where he plays like Sadie or Charles or something like that. But there's also one on Reddit I'd actually like you to see. It's down in the link description below. Someone has made a really cool elaborate story about Red Dead 3 involving one of the characters that is mentioned at the start of Red Dead 2, but never brought up again. Supposedly he might have died, like in the Blackwater Heights, but it's something interesting, and I'd love you to check it out. Now, of course, take both of these with a grain of salt, because we don't know much about it. But what do you think about all of this news? Do you think that we're going to get an announcement of GTA 6 next month? And when do you think both of these games come out? I'm thinking next year, 2025 for GTA 6, and probably by the end of the 2020s for Red Dead 3. But let me know what your opinions are down below, and let's have a discussion about them, shall we? Now, for one major studio to the next, as we're heading over to Nintendo for the next few stories. So our first story involving Nintendo is about the Direct. Nintendo Directs in particular, because we get one every 3 months. And we're projecting we might see one by the end of this month or by October. Now, it's particularly what some games are being rumored for announcement at this Direct. Now, according to the Twitter user of Pyaro, who is quite reliable on insiders on Directs, he has been mentioned that we're seeing a return to the long dormant F-Zero series with an all-new game. Now, whether it's a standalone title or similar to like the Battle Royale system games like Tetris 99 is to be seen, but we'll have to see when we get some information for that. Now, another one that's also rumored is that we're getting a new game starring Donkey Kong. That initially we all had speculation that could be a new country game or a new 64 game, but apparently it might be getting more information that it could be a Mario vs. Donkey Kong game. It's basically a follow-up from the last one being 2014, I believe. Some other stuff we got information as well is that Pac-Man 99 might be becoming obsolete next month. A DS game and a Wii game are being remastered, but we don't know what ones they are. And some other stuff we're also getting is that we're getting more info about that new Princess Peach game was announced at the last Direct, as well as probably some other surprises, but we don't know yet. Now, whether or not we're also going to see all these continued rumors about a Twilight Princess and Wind Waker port, as well as more info on the we just mentioned too, is anyone's guess to go by. One thing I want to speculate on my own accord is I feel like maybe we could see Metroid Prime 4. It has been announced since 2017 and was being reworked from the beginning in 2019. So I feel like maybe we could see it because there's been rumblings going around that the game is projected for a summer 2024 release and they're kind of near completion. They've got a good build, so they want to unveil it at the right time. So maybe the next Direct could be the last big announcement. I could see it happening. But what are your thoughts on all this? Do you think any of these are accurate? And when do you think we're going to get this Direct? I'm thinking maybe the end of this month, but early October at the latest. But let me know what you think down below. And let's speculate on what games could be announced. And this next story in terms of the last one for gaming news is a small point I want to talk about. And this is with the Legend of Zelda series. As of course this year we just got probably one of the best games of the year with Tears of the Kingdom. Now depending if Baldur's Gate 3 is a big, success story as well as Spider-Man 2, it could become Game of the Year. Now, they have confirmed earlier this week that there is no plans for DLC for Tears of the Kingdom, and that they apparently already started plans and work on the next game in the series. Here's a speculation though. Will this be a new game that follows on from Tears of the Kingdom story? Or is this going to be, an entirely new form? Like basically how, you had Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, then it was a new timeline with the Wind Waker style, and it was a new timeline with Twilight Princess. I could see it happening, but depending unless they have something really interesting to do with a follow-up to Tears of the Kingdom, I have no idea, because what else can you really do with Hyrule? Like, make it bigger? I don't know. But what are your opinions on this? Do you think it's a follow-up to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, or is it a new entirely storyline with the new hero of Hyrule? Let me know what you think of it down below in the comments. As for our final Nintendo news story this week, this is a callback to one of the previous news stories I talked about, which was of course that Charles Martinet announced that he will be stepping down as the role of the Mario and Wario brothers and will become a Mario ambassador for Nintendo. Now, we got confirmed that we were going to get a special video of this, and we officially got it this week, given to us by Nintendo, which sees Charles Martinet thanking the fans, and then Mr. Miyamoto himself coming on and thanking Martinet personally for all the journey and everything, and that apparently Charles Martinet calls Mr. Miyamoto he's a papa, which is wholesome as f***. Now, I did watch this video, and it might not be long, but it did get me. I felt emotional watching it. And, you know, he truly left a legacy on the world of Nintendo because he is the voice of the iconic plumbers. Like, while I've heard the voices of the new Mario Wonder game are pretty great, like what I've heard, there's some hit or miss points, but they are pretty great. It just will never be the iconic legacy that Martinet has done for Mario over the journey of Nintendo games for the last 20 plus years. But what are your thoughts on this, and what has your favorite Mario game been with his iconic voice in it? Let me know what you think of your opinions on it down below in the comments. Now let's talk about some IP news from a head of his company that has no idea what he's talking about. So this is coming to us by Warner Bros. IP head David Zaslav, who has specified that the likes of Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and DC are underused. And I think that statement is complete bullshit, because they're not overused, but more at a case of overused to death, basically their own fault, or, you know, a mix of divide. So I'll go through each of them right now. First off, Lord of the Rings. This all happened when they decided to stretch Hobbit from one movie into 3, because it's a shorter book than Lord of the Rings. And they seem to be constantly trying to make movies and content based on Middle Earth now, with the new animated one and all this stuff, but they seem to be missing the point, as we had the divided series of Rings of Power from last year, as well as labeled as the worst game of this year with Lord of the Rings Gollum. So I believe the case that maybe they are missing the point with Lord of the Rings, but they're trying to get the money and award recognition that the original trilogy got, so I don't know. It's a mess. Now for Harry Potter. This one is overused as shit. And the series has also been in controversy because of the author and her transphobic views. And I don't trust her transphobic views, because I'm supportive of transgender people. Now, this is something that you cannot go into any shop without seeing something with the Wizarding World on them, as it is everywhere. And now they're saying that they will milk this series for more money by remaking the books into a television series for HBO Max. Which, why? The films are less than 10 years old for most of them, so I don't understand why they think it's best idea to milk them the shit. First 3 are perfectly fine. You could probably do the series in the last 4 books, I don't know. But I'm probably guessing they saw the success of Hogwarts Legacy and they're thinking, let's do that. But then they completely missing the point about the disaster that was the Fantastic Beasts trilogy, you know, so if you're going to give the author more money, please don't. And lastly, just with DC Universe, it's really their own fault for this one, because they're the ones that didn't have faith in it. Because they got concerned for poor reception from Dawn of Justice, and then this is when they started studio melding, as they cut out 30 minutes of important scenes from BVS, the whole mess of 2016 Suicide Squad, which I might talk on my own video on, or during the rewatch of DCEU. The criticized third act of Wonder Woman was their decision, the inconsistency of Justice League, their meddling with Birds of Prey, and their whole cancelling of Batgirl, because they said it will hurt the DCEU. I'm like, really? The reshoots of Aquaman 2, and supposed rumors going around that apparently lost the footage. I doubt that's true. And not giving Snyder's Justice League a chance, and they really seem more than underused DCU and more have messed it up. Now I think Zaslav needs to better mince his words, because it seems to think the use of IPs that we see more success when they could be a major failure. But what are your thoughts on all this discussion by Zaslav? And does his words seem right at all? Because I don't think they do, and most people online don't seem to think either. But let me know what you think if you can down below, or else I may just be rambling for the last 2 minutes. And for our last story for this week, we're talking about bears. In particularly a wholesome bear that turns sinister, and bears that kill children. Now, we'll have 2 quick announcements here, and the first one relates to Five Nights at Freddy's, because we've had a rumor going around that the time frame for this new movie is going to be coming in at 3 hours. Well, now earlier this week got the official timeline that the film is clocking in at 1 hour and 50 minutes, around the same length as the newest Exorcist film and the average for most horror films lately. So our visit to Freddy's is going to be about 2 hours, so, you know, that's something good. And as for our second discussion with bears, do you remember Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey? Because I sure kind of do. This was the slasher Winnie the Pooh movie that supposedly came out this year, but they never released over here that I'm aware of. Apparently it was a small release, but I don't know. Anyway, we're getting a sequel for that, as the filming is currently underway. We have some new photos that have come out from the set photos. It looks different. Apparently it's a bigger budget. It's going more graphicer. It's going more darker. It's going more bloodier. You get all the gist of it. So basically a sequel goes big or go home kind of mentality. We don't have a release date for this yet, but I'm sure we'll probably hear something about it in the coming weeks. Most likely it'll probably end up coming out early next year, but we'll have to see. But what are your thoughts on both of these news stories? Do you think that Five Nights at Freddy's good length of time for 1 hour and 50 minutes, or do you think, and also, have you seen Blood and Honey? Is it good? Is it bad? I don't know. I'm asking you. I want to know what it looks like. Let me know what you think of it down below in the comments. But anyway, that's all the news that we have for this week.
Gregory, he'd still be alive right now if you gamers ain't gassing him up.
And with that now, that is the end of episode 16 of Weird Mind Newsroom, and I hope you all enjoyed listening to me rambling for probably under about 30 minutes, but I have no idea because I've basically forgotten to look at the times. Now, any updates on my channel? Well, I've got 2 reviews currently filmed from the last day or two. I'm going to start editing them over the next day or two, hopefully, and they are further reviews of The Flash and Fast and Furious 10. I do have plans to at least start finish writing up and record reviews back to back of Little Mermaid, Elemental, Puss in Boots 2, and the Ninja Turtles movie, which I've all seen. And I also want to at least get written up the Barbie review and do it my special someone that I promised them I would do with. I will get around to it as find time for it. In most cases, my other long form videos, I'm going to try and at least start watching some of the live action films this week, maybe. At least start from the beginning of the timeline frame, take notes, maybe record some footage of me on the phone of me like watching it and give my thoughts in it over time. Gotta take little bits of it. So, I might. I'll see what happens. But I'll see what I could do with that one. Hopefully I can have it out by next month. Or the end of this month. I'll see what I can do. If you have your own thoughts of long form videos you want to see me do, or you have anything you want me to do in a special segment section, I will gladly do it. Let me know in the comments below, or message me if you follow me on social media. I will help. I'll gladly review some stuff or give my opinions on things. That's basically it. I can't think of anything else. I look sweaty as fuck because it's still very warm, even though it's been raining today. Please just let the heat go away. I want cold. I want my autumn wear stuff, please. Anyway, that's all I have for this week. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you did, why not like and subscribe if you haven't already? I appreciate all the support that you do over time. And, comment below all the discussion that was announced this week, if you can understand it, because I feel like I rambled a little bit, and share it around to people, sharing around, supporting my channel and everything like that. I greatly appreciate it, and I will reward you in some capacity. I don't know how, but somewhere down the line I'll reward you with stuff. I'll figure something out. Anyways, that's all I have for this week. Now I hope you all stay being wonderful people. You stay safe out there in this heat, and I wish you all a really great day, and take care, everybody. Goodbye.